Well, so at this point in time, I am in a position to say that um, all of the ANC persons are here with one exception, and that's Michael Schenkel. And what I would like to do is, uh, since we do have a quorum, is to call the meeting in order. And it is, as near as I can tell, 6:01, actually 6:03 p.m. on 13 May 2026, and the meeting is called to order. I'd like to do the roll call now, starting with the person that I see on the screen, and that is Commissioner Groth.
Hi, I'm Nancy Groth. I have the privilege of serving single member district 2C02 and being the commissioner of Black Lives Matter Plaza.
And Thomas, you are next.
My name is Thomas Lee. I am the single member district representative for ANC 2C, 2C03, sorry, 2C03, and I represent the National Mall and Penn Quarter.
And I am Jim Swart. I am the representative of ANC 2C04, and that includes a portion of Chinatown, Anthem Row City Center, as well as a portion of downtown. And I am the vice chair of the ANC. And Michael Schenkel, again, is not here today, but we do have the three of the four commissioners, which gives us a plurality for continuing and gives us the ability to register a legitimate vote. So now I would like, since we've introduced ourselves, to approve tonight's agenda as it is written and as has been provided to everyone, despite the fact that there are a few changes to it, which we will get into a little bit later. But do I hear an approval for tonight's agenda?
So move.
Second.
Do I have a second? Okay, all in favor? Great. The agenda has been approved. Now we have the minutes of last month's meeting, and if people are willing to, those of us.
Commissioners, I
Yes.
apologize. I did not include that in the last minute packet that I sent the two of you. But you've seen the minutes. I sent them out some time ago.
Yes, we did, and I don't think you need to worry because they really wouldn't have changed. So I don't think there was anything that I know I didn't disagree, and I don't think anyone did. So do we have a motion to approve the minutes? I make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so all in favor. And now we're down to the April Treasurer's Report. I think, Thomas, this is your moment.
All right. I don't have much to report this month. We did receive, I wrote two checks, which to Minute Services, and those were cashed, and we have a invoice from Minute Services again for our latest meeting minutes from April, and I've writing a check for that. Michael is away, so he can't sign it. So once he gets back, I'll have that signed from him, and we'll mail that off as well. I don't have the I don't have I didn't have any time this week to prepare the QFR for review. I know there's a deadline this May 15th. I'm gonna have to work on it tomorrow and on Friday. If we need to, we'll have to vote on it next month.
Yeah,
I
if there's
apologize.
anything I can do to assist you with that, let me know.
Okay.
There's a punch list from
Right, I
other
saw the punch
agencies.
list. I just happened to see that.
I knocked a few of them off that were minutes that were in the QFR portal, but they had not found them there. So I got a few of them off the list. But if there's anything
Thank
you
you.
can do to help, let me know.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nancy.
We need to get out of arrears here for all the things.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Are we
Go ahead.
ready for other administrative matters?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we should approve Commissioner's Lee submission of this information.
Well, he doesn't. I appreciate the
There's
information.
nothing to submit right now.
It's not a treasurer's. It's
Yeah,
not the
right.
April report to be
right, I
submitted
know
yet.
that. But anyway, I support what you're doing. So anyway, we are now of any other administrative matters.
I'd just like to say for the record yet again that we still have not posted an ad for Michael. Keeps saying he'll do that. When he gets back, we'll have to sort this out. I've been too busy doing the admin stuff to try to get an actual admin. So
something else I would like to see would be the publication or the tie-in of our minutes on our web page.
Yes, that's also on my to-do list. Okay. I thought I had access to the video of the training of it, and I do not. And it's apparently on Michael's OneDrive. So as soon as I can get access to the refresher, then I'll get all of them up. I know we have quite a number of them to put up.
Yeah. And the only other administrative matter I have is to thank you, Nancy, and Thomas for making the night happen. It's a very important meeting, and it's these meetings, on Zoom only are a little bit difficult to maneuver and handle, but I do appreciate all that you've done to do this. So we're ready to go to other administrative matters, but this has to do with basically what we have on our agenda tonight. And as my fellow commissioners know, there was a last minute removal of the mayor's office from making the presentation tonight regarding the proposed budget of 2027. And oh gosh, that was disappointing, but understandable. They had other things that were in need of happening. And so we obviously will, this is the second time that's been pushed back, hasn't it? And so we will continue to work with them on getting this onto next month's agenda, because it is a very important matter for all of us who have a stake in the community. What things will be funded, what will not be funded, where the mayor stands on these issues, and that sort of thing. Thomas, do you have anything to add to that?
I do not. I support what you just said. I want to reiterate what you just said there.
And Nancy, yourself?
Yes, absolutely. If nothing else, it gives us a jump on the rest of the agenda. The Office of Planning had asked for 20 minutes on the June meeting also to present on the DC 2050 long-term planning project. Mm-hmm. So again, when Chair Schenkel gets back, we'll have to figure that out as to how that shakes out for June.
Yeah, we sure will. Obviously, when you look at our agenda tonight, the mayor's office had 6:15 p.m. through 6:35, which is a which is a healthy amount of time. However, we just can't do that now. We seem to have a message in the chat room.
I think it's just the AI note taker.
Oh, okay, great. So, if nothing else, can we get to the community announcements? And I hope this doesn't put anyone in a real bind because we're moving that up. I see that is Sergeant Rob. Yeah, there he is, Philip Robinson. You're providing the MPD Second District information, are you not?
No, very well.
You're muted, Sergeant. There you go.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can hear you. And now we can see you. Good to see you.
Now we can see you, but not hear you. You're muted again. There
Can you
you
guys
go.
hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I'm Sergeant Robinson with the Metropolitan Police Department. I'm filling in for Lieutenant Garvin, who is assigned to the PSA 209. Just to give background, I've been with MPD for about 14 years now. Been a sergeant for 9 years, and my current area of concentration is the Georgetown area, which I been patrolling over there for almost 6 years now. But for the month of April, there was two assault with a dangerous weapon. Both were closed with arrests. The first incident was at the McDonald's at the 1300 block of I want to say 11th. I want to say that is the 1300 block of New York Avenue.
Yeah.
That was self-defense. The suspect brandished a knife while the individual was playing card games, a famous card game named Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game. And he brandished a knife, and the complainant or our victim produced his handgun. Unfortunately, he does not have a carry concealed weapon license, and he was placed under arrest as well. The second incident that was closed with arrest that occurred at the MLK Library, in which there was a CCTV video footage in which we was able to apprehend that suspect at near 801 G Street. He brandished a weapon and shot the individual. The individual transported himself to a nearby hospital, and we was able to bring a closure to that case. There was also a robbery in front of the library again. The suspect is known to the victim. It is one of the unsheltered individuals or the people that like to hang out over there. We're trying to get in contact with library police to see if they're able to bring that encampment to a closure. There was also one burglary in the 600 block of 13th Street. That suspect is also known. It is it's an individual that has a key fob to the location. We do have that person identified. As far as motor vehicle thefts for the month of April to include parts of May until May 12th, there was one motor vehicle theft. That vehicle is still out. There was 4 theft from autos. As far as the theft from autos, just we always try to encourage people when we're taking these reports, try not to leave the items out in plain sight or leave the vehicle unlocked. I read a couple of the reports in which 2 of the 4 reports, the vehicle was left unlocked and the items was in plain sight. And as far as our thefts, unfortunately, our thefts are up there. We have 76 thefts. The problem area or our hotspot areas that we're focusing on is the CVS, the Lululemon, and the Wawa. And as far as those 76 thefts, 25 of the 76 was closed with arrests. And that is it for PSA 209.
Anything from either commissioner or
Yeah,
somebody?
a couple questions. Which Wawa? The one at Thomas Circle?
No, the Wawa that's at 12th and H,
Okay.
13th and H.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that particular Wawa? That Wawa had 6 thefts. The Lululemon had 14 thefts. The CVS at 1101 New York Avenue had 25 thefts. And that can range from a candy bar up to a flash mob, but none of these were considered flash mob. Only the Lululemon had multiple individuals go inside and steal multiple items, which is considered a flash mob.
Okay. Also, you mentioned something in passing about clearing the encampment at the library. It's certainly very unfortunate that there were those crimes of violence in that immediate vicinity. But
Yes.
is DHS involved? Is Pathways to Housing involved? Have they placarded it yet? What's the DHS status?
So while working the safe passage at Chinatown, in reference to when school is being let out, we have noticed that library police is cornering off with police tape stating to the unsheltered individuals, like, you can't stay here. But after a certain while, they still come back. But I can follow up as far as if they're getting the correct resources that they need.
Yeah. Yes, please. Would you Chair Schenkel, that's his single member district, and he lives across the street, but he's away for a week. If you and I'm very specifically interested in that. So I'm Commissioner Growth 2C02. If you could let me know whatever the status of that is, I would very much appreciate it.
202. Commissioner Gross. Okay. And I'll follow up with library police to see what the status is.
Yes, thank you very much.
And Sergeant Robinson, it was nice talking with you the other day, related to things here in ANC 2C04, because you've mentioned a number of the crime happening here. We also
is somebody on microphone? Could you please mute yourself?
That may be my radio inside the office.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, do not mute yourself. And but basically, I did phone the police the other day because there was right at the MLK Library and Zatania, there was a youthful gathering, and by that I mean a number of people, maybe 20, did a takeover, if you will, but they were more involved with one another and beating one another up and causing a disturbance. And the police did come, and basically the kids or the young people went into the metro system and got away. But that area has become an area that warrants attention, really. And and I went to the downtown DC morning meeting the other day, and there was a foundation, the Downtown DC Foundation, who does operate a good number of programs for people who are unhoused, people who need help, and that sort of thing. But it would be nice if we could somehow bring all of us together for a meeting to take a look at this.
Yeah. And as far as the juveniles, we are we do have a civil disturbance unit in the area,
Mhm.
roughly 7 officers to 14 officers. And we do be seeing that and deterring it and trying to make sure that the juveniles just go directly
Mhm.
home. But it is kind of tough
It
um,
is.
parenting them.
Right. It really is. So anyway, it was good talking with you the other day,
All right.
and it's always good to see officers in our area.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be there tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
Are you welcome?
So who do we have?
We have a
from
hand
the-
up. Commissioner Short, Mr. Marks has his hand up.
Okay.
Oh, he did have his hand up.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
see-
I just put it down, but I had a question for the sergeant. Hello, thanks for your service. This is outside of our ANC, but it's near the GW Hospital. It's a 23rd and L. So many of our people that live in our ANC go there for medical care. There was a pedestrian that was struck and killed at the intersection of 23rd and L.
Oh, Lord.
I think 3 weeks ago, Saturday, by hit and run driver with Maryland tags and Jeep Cherokee. Was that driver ever caught or apprehended? It's really disturbed me because I go by that intersection often on the way to my doctor, as well as my wife, as well as many people that live in our ANC. Could you give us an update, Sergeant, on that case?
I'm sorry. I caught the tail end of it. I just
Okay.
clicked leave.
Okay, there was a pedestrian 3 weeks ago on a Saturday morning that was struck and killed. A hit and run driver at the intersection of 23rd and L Northwest, very close to the GW Hospital and the annexes where my wife and I go, as well as many people who live in our ANC for medical care. According to the account on social media, the driver of a Jeep Cherokee with Maryland tags left the scene. Bystanders tried to save the woman's life unsuccessfully. Sergeant, could you provide us an update on that case, please?
Currently, that is still being worked for a major crash. I can also follow up with major crash to see if they have any additional that they can give out to the public other than just the license plate.
Okay, thank you, Sergeant.
Are you welcome?
Just one other follow-up from me, please. Speaking of pedestrian fatalities, there was a pedestrian fatality at 16th and L in January. That was the result of a presumed police pursuit. And so every month until we have a public answer, I will ask, what is the status of the major crash investigation and what is the status of the internal affairs investigation?
So those officers are still on non-contact, which means their police powers have been revoked, and it's still being investigated by internal affairs and major crash.
Okay, so they're still in process.
Yes.
Do you have any sense of a timeline?
So those type of investigations, it can be up to 3 months, 90 days, all the way up to 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, so it's been 4 months now, so.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anything else for Sergeant Robinson? If nothing else, thank you very much. I do appreciate your being here.
All right, thank you.
Do we have anyone here from MPD 1? Does anyone recognize any of the names?
No, it does not look like it.
No, I don't think so either. Maybe they're following the schedule and won't be here until 6:45. Metro Police.
Good evening. How are you all?
Good evening.
Lieutenant Bargy, I'm going to just talk to you all briefly about what's going on with the Metro. I just pulled up our numbers. I pulled them all the way back to April the 1st. And at Gallery Place, we did have two robberies and one aggravated assault that occurred since April the 1st. From my radio down. All three of those were closed by arrest on scene by officers. As you all know, we do keep a tight grip on the Gallery Place station. I have my officers there all the time. We kind of gauge their activity in the station based on the number of citations that are written. Same time frame since April the 1st, we do have 257 citations that we wrote. So my officers, like I said, they're there, they're active. You were talking about the juvenile takeover leading to violence. While that does happen a lot on the street, probably sound like a broken record at this point. It is something that we are keenly aware of. When we do have these groups that are topside, we send our officers to the entrances of the station and we meter them in because we need to make sure that we're keeping the people inside the metro safe. It does cause a little bit of a little bit of heartburn for MPD sometimes because they obviously want to get everybody off the street. And the metro is the easiest way, but we obviously got to think about what we're putting into the system. So we tend to send them in about 10 at a time. We get radio back from the units downstairs that all is clear, and then we let 10 more in. And that's been the best system for us, just to ensure that we don't end up with train cars full of people, full of kids fighting with each other and robbing folks on the train. It is going to be an ongoing problem. I know that our policy, the way we handle it, does put a little bit of a strain on the sidewalks because it slows moving the kids from one place to another. We do not restrict entry for people who are over the age of 18 or children that are accompanied by a parent. Obviously, it's just for the large groups of kids that are moving around and causing the troubles. But you will always find my officers at the station. Typically, they're wearing a high visibility vest of some kind. We have our contracted allied security officers there as well. And there's always a team of usually 5 to 6 National Guard walking around at the station as well. So, yeah, it is a busy station. It's a big transfer station, but we are continuing to move in the right direction. Does anybody have any questions for me?
This is Commissioner Lee.
Yep.
Officer Barga, is there an opportunity to better coordinate with National Guard and to have them provide additional resources to ensure the safety at these metro stations, especially for passengers and for the youngsters that visit downtown during the
Commissioner,
after school
I'm sorry.
hours?
Hold on.
Sure.
I'm having technical difficulties. Hang on one second. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
I apologize. I'm using my phone because I'm out in the field and I had a phone call come in.
Right.
And it completely cut you off. You're going to have to repeat for me. I apologize.
Oh, yes. My question was, are you coordinating, or is there an opportunity to better coordinate with National Guard to essentially flood the stations with additional resources during these hours? It seems like we need to make sure that passengers are safe as well as the students. If National Guard has additional resources, can you coordinate with them to ensure that the resources are properly deployed at the Gallery Place, especially this week with Police Week? It seems like we want to avoid any potential for, unfortunate incidents.
Yep. No, I totally understand. So National Guard is, I don't want to use the word tricky, but it can be a little tricky coordinating with them. The boots on the ground are easy to coordinate with. We do that on a regular basis, especially with the folks that are in the station. We're constantly seeing them, talking to them. They do back us up. So when we're doing, I mentioned we wrote 257 tickets. A lot of those are at the fare gates doing fare evasion. If they're walking around, we'll say, hey, there's just 2 of us here. You mind standing with us while we do this? Or a couple of them will break off. When we are having an influx of kids, we'll make contact with them and kind of give them particular assignments. Hey, we need extra presence on the Glenmont platform. Could 3 of you go over here and 3 on the Shady Grove, just so that way we can, we can kind of amplify our resources using National Guard. As far as getting additional guard, that's a big ask. That's one of those big wheels that turn slowly. We can't really pull them off the street because we have guard that are assigned to 7th and H topside, and we have guard that are assigned to the Gallery Place station, and they we can't just pull them and say, hey, we need you in the station. I was like, well, my orders are here, and that's not something that we can really supersede. My captain is the liaison with the National Guard structure. Essentially, he has, I want to say, bi-weekly meetings with them where they just, debrief and figure out exactly what's going on and what's working and what isn't. But kind of the long and the short of it is, pulling them in from elsewhere is a difficult ask absent some kind of a major catastrophic incident. Obviously then there's a little more leeway, but just day-to-day operations, what we have is what we have. But like you said, coordination with them is key, and we do that fairly well, I would say, because my folks are in the station, we're in the station, we're always talking to them. If they need to use the restroom, they got to be let in, so they come and find my folks. So at a minimum, there's FaceTime every day. And I always encourage my officers, and I usually have a sergeant down there as well, to just check in with them, see what's going on, see if they're seeing anything that we're not, so that way they can help us and we can help them. I hope that answered the question. It was kind of long.
Commissioner Swart, do you see the question in the chat?
Yes, I sure do, and I was getting ready to get to that.
Excellent.
Basically, there's a statement in the chat room. I'll read the entire thing, and I don't know who put it in. I understand that the National Guard provides eyes for your police and will let police know if something challenging is happening, correct? If so, why do they work in groups of 4 and 6? Would a team of 2 be enough? And would it allow for more coverage inside station areas? Thank you.
Yeah. So, and kind of like I said with the last question, is that kind of comes down to their command structure. If we specifically ask them, we're having something going on, we'll say, hey, can we get 3 over here, 3 over there? They will break up. I do see that they will break themselves up from time to time, and they'll have some on the overlook and some down on the different platforms and entrances and things like that. They do sometimes just travel as a unit of 6 together. That's a question I can ask, if they can be broken up more into teams of smaller units. But again, a lot of that comes down to how they operate, absent a specific request from us, and that we make those requests at specific times if we have incidents that we need coverage in certain places.
I just have one other question or statement for you. I know when the mayor announces teen curfews, that sort of thing, a lot of my constituents are pleased if those happen here at our metro station in Chinatown. How do your police feel about that? Is that a good thing for you?
The curfews are and can be tricky because, as we've talked about, we tend to be dealing with large groups of kids. So we're talking kids that are traveling in groups, like you were saying, there was 20 of them. And one moment they're fighting and the next moment they're all walking along together. So to enforce a curfew on a group of 20 isn't a reasonable ask. We can't just grab 20 kids and say, hey, you all are in violation of curfew. We're taking all 20 of you. The way we have been using it is if we have, we have one or two that are being verbally combative. They're not moving. They're not going where they need to go. That's a situation where we can say, okay, well, you're not going somewhere. You're not going home. So you're now in violation of the curfew, and then we can enforce it there in the smaller number. So the curfew is good. It's an extra tool that we can use. But as far as, we'll see upwards of, and I'm sure you've seen it, 50, 100 kids in the street, rounding up that number of people and trying to transport them somewhere would be quite a difficult task, as far as, using the curfew violation as a primary, offense essentially to get people moving. It does serve as something of an effective, I don't want to say threat, but it's, hey, it's curfew. You need to be, are you headed home? That's the conversation that we can have. Yeah. And then they get on the train and they're leaving, that effectively, flushes them out of the one location. And do they go home? I can't speak on that obviously, but it's more of a thing where if somebody is remaining in place and refusing to essentially be on their way home, which is what the curfew dictates, then we can use it, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, hi. Howard Marks here again. Thank you for your service, for protecting us in the metro. I live right above the Gallery Place station. And because I'm having some physical mobility problems, I'm having to use the handicapped entrance there on 7th Street in front of the Capital One Arena with the two elevators. I've noticed that seems to be a real weakness in terms of fare evasion. Every time I go down there and use it, it seems I'm encountering someone that's vaulting over the fare gates, and it seems like half the time they're young people, and what should be, or what are you doing about specifically about those weak points, like the one at the handicap entrance at Gallery Place? Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. So we refer to that as we call it the mini mezz, short for mini mezzanine. It's technically part of the 7th and F Street entrance. That has been a problem since I was a rookie officer. So I remember spending many an evening just in that area, enforcing the fare there. That is something that we still do. One thing that you would not see is we have the ability, with the help of the station manager or some of my officers, I used to know how we can stop the elevator at that 7th and F Street level. So a common way that we enforce the fare at 7th, at that mini mezzanine at the elevators, is when people are exiting, they jump over. We watch them on camera. They get on the elevator. Elevator stops not at the street level, but at 7th and F at the kiosk level. We pull them off there, and we can pull 3-4 people off at a time, and then they get tickets at that location. So that's a very common way that we do enforce the fare at that elevator. Just last week, I was with one of my sergeants, and we were just kind of around the corner. They have that screen up there now, so we can watch people jumping over on the screen that's at the mini mezzanine elevator area, and then they jump over. We can see it from around the corner. We grab them up and we write them a ticket. So it has become a little bit of a lower value target at the station itself, only because only so many people can come through at a time. So it to an extent, it meters itself, because a lot of what we're dealing with is the larger groups. But when we are there specifically enforcing fare, that is one of the spots that I have my officers monitor. But again, usually they're catching people going out, because it's simplest to pull them off the elevator once we stop them at the kiosk level, if that makes sense, Mr. Marks.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, and
I do have a hard exit. Does anybody have anything else for me? I'm sorry, I have another meeting I have to get on.
No, I was just going to say that we can end this now. I do appreciate your being with us again tonight. Thank you very much. Lieutenant Barja.
Thank you, commissioners. Have a good
Yes.
evening. See you next month.
Bye-bye. Okay, next on the agenda is Council Member Brooke Pinto's office. Daya Mehta, I believe, is with us. And are you ready for being part of this, Daya?
Yes. Oh, excuse me. Yes, I am. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I am Tia from Councilmember Pinto's office. I will try and go quickly, though I know we're ahead of schedule. So it's very good to see you all. The council is continuing to review the mayor's proposed fiscal year 27 budget. The Judiciary Committee had our last budget hearing last week for Fire and EMS, Department of Corrections, and the Office of Victim Services and Justice Grants. There were over 160 public witnesses who testified. Other committee budget hearings have wrapped up following by committee markups, and the votes are expected in June. Councilmember Pinto is deeply concerned about the impact of proposed government-wide budget cuts and is continuing to explore avenues to ensure DC residents have the critical services they need. Last Tuesday, the council had a regular legislative meeting. The permanent version of the youth curfew zones passed and now goes to the mayor and for congressional review. The emergency version did not have the votes to pass at this time. As a reminder, these zones are no longer able to be used until the permanent version goes into effect. Councilmember Pinto believes that these zones are an effective preventative tool to deal with the large teen takeovers that are a national trend that we've seen here in Navy Yard and the Wharf and U Street. We know that this is just one tool to dealing with these large gatherings, and Councilmember Pinto still wants to see many of her bills on expanding youth opportunities for recreation and employment to move through the committee they were referred to. She's also worked alongside Councilmember Crawford and the mayor's office and DPR to ensure teen programming is taking place at the same times these zones are in effect. You may have seen in the news that several MPD officers were also placed on administrative leave over data manipulation allegations. Councilmember Pinto believes that accuracy in reporting crime statistics is critically important for public trust and for assessing the effectiveness of our public safety interventions. It's why she's continued to conduct oversight and has requested responses in writing from MPD about the reporting processes for crime statistics. As MPD continues its internal investigation, the councilmember will continue to seek answers to these alarming allegations to ensure our local police department is operating with integrity and honesty so we can continue to keep residents safe. Lastly, I think we all know that primary elections are coming up very quickly. Mail-in ballots started going out today. If you sign up for text alerts, you can track your ballot on its way. Make sure that your voter registration is up to date. And if you haven't researched ranked choice voting yet, the Board of Elections has helpful information on their website. That's all I've got, so I'm happy to take any questions now.
Andrew Cohen, do you have a question?
Hi there. Yeah, I just posted in the chat. Hi, Dia. Thanks so much for joining. I just wanted to see if your office has an update about either funding and or revising the language of that Amplified Noise Act that I know we're all interested in every month.
Yeah, so I just want to give some background also. I've been working with MPD in the Department of Buildings to try and address a couple of the different problem areas for noise issues. And they've gone in and checked on it somewhat regularly, so there is hopefully some progress to be made. We're still going to advocate for funding in this budget cycle. It's still part of our it was in our budget letter, and it's still something that we believe is very necessary. However, it is a very difficult budget cycle, so we'll see what happens. And I followed up with our legislative staff, and I think that they are looking into changing the language, especially for amplified versus non-amplified noise, if it's still noise. So I can follow up with that and see what progress is being made.
That's so wonderful. Thank you. Can you clarify what progress you said MPD and DOB is doing to coordinate?
From my understanding, they're talking to the different individuals and working together on what's the word I'm thinking of? Inspections.
Okay. And do you know the best contact point we can reach out to for that?
Let me find it in my email. I don't remember off the top of my head who I was corresponding with. I'll find it in my email and I'll put it in the chat.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Of course.
And as you know, this is Jim Sword, and as you know, there are a number of us who are fully supporting the idea of having the amplified noise law, which is a law. We're very interested in having that funded.
Of course, our office is too, and hopefully this is our year.
Hopefully. Anything else for Dia?
Yeah, Dia, this is Thomas.
Okay,
quick question for you for Brooke Pinto's office. Do you have any information as to what will be happening on the mall currently in the near to mid future? I see lots of building taking place right now.
Is this in regards to the 250th celebration?
Yes, right.
I do not know. I can look into it, but I don't know what's happening.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Is there anything else? All right. Before we get to the downtown bid, I understand that Lieutenant Hutt is here with a briefing from the First District Crime and Community Awareness.
Yes, sir.
Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lieutenant Ursula Tutt from the First District, PSA 101. I'll be stepping in for Captain Herbenak. Just a brief update. PSA 101 experienced an overall decrease in crime, with the total offenses down by 8 incidents compared to the same period last year. Property crime is a continual driver for PSA 101. However, we're seeing a decrease in that as well. And that's all I have for the First District. If you guys have any questions for me.
Hi there. Yeah, just same question to you as to Pinto's office. Have you been involved at all in that coordination between First District MPD and Department of Buildings in terms of trying to address the noise disturbances in front of Gallery Place? These are drummers and street performers.
Yes, sir. I don't have an answer for you as of right now, but I can look into that and put it in the group chat, or I could get your email and do a follow-up with you if that's okay.
Yeah, if you to put your email in the chat, I'll follow up with you. That'd be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you very much.
I have a question for Lieutenant Tutt.
Okay, go
Howard
ahead.
Marks here. Last night, I understand there was an incident on 7th Street between H and I, Northwest in Chinatown, close to where I live. There was an assault. It's very rare that we have that kind of crime here. It was happening around 10 p.m. last night. I mean, I get the crime alerts. Lieutenant, do you have any information about what happened last night?
Sorry about that. Between H and I at 10 o'clock, I will look into that. I don't recall any assault taking place. I know we did have a robbery snatch at the Walgreens. An individual was inside of the Walgreens. He had his headphones on. What appeared to be two juveniles entered the Walgreens and snatched his headphones off and fled the location. We have significant bolos on them, and I'm very confident that we can get those two juveniles identified in reference to. That's the only incident that I recall of last night, but I can look into that for you.
I think that was the incident that actually was referenced. It was not clear. There was no address that was given. They just said some sort of a robbery, or so that very well could be it.
Yes,
That very
sir.
well could be it.
Yes, sir. It came out as a theft. Like I said, the patron was inside of the establishment shopping, and originally came out as a theft. We did have officers in the area. He alerted the security, and MPD arrived on the scene. We have two significant pictures of these suspects. They appear to be juveniles, and I'm sure they frequent the area. So I'm looking to make some kind of closure real soon in reference to that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else before we move? Thank you so much. I do appreciate that, as we all do. Now is the downtown bid. I know that Eloise Johnson has been here with us for quite some time today. So, Eloise, if you could take your place on the agenda. Eloise, are you there? I still
Yes.
see your name.
Yes. Okay, here we
great.
go. I was trying to
Okay.
unmute myself. Thank you for
Okay.
having me, and I'll try to make this as brief as possible just to give you all an update. I know that people are, it's raining and well, we're at home, but everybody had a very busy day. We had our Safety Alliance meeting in person today, and it's been the first time since I would say close to 8 years or 7 years, should I say, COVID was the last time we had it. So we had our stakeholders in the building and we talked about some of the things. So I'll want to share my screen with you. And you can let me know if once you see it. Let me see. Share. Why am I not sharing? Can you see my screen at all?
No, not yet.
Okay, let me. I'm doing share and not. 1 second here. Let me see what's going on. Why it's not allowing me to. Just 1 second, please. See why it's not allowing me to share it. I think I might have it now. Here we go. Can you
There
see
you
it?
go.
All right. Thank you all for being patient. So I wanted to go through a little bit of our data here for our clean team. Although we're not having our safety walk team anymore, we are working on doing somewhat of an in-house section of our clean team, or should I say our safety walk team. But I want to just share some of the data for our collections here for the month of March. And then going through, can you see where I am now?
Yes.
Okay, and the pounds of trash that we've collected, of course, we've had like quite a few events that has been going on throughout the city, especially as it pertained to the Penn Quarter section, Chinatown, and Anthems Row. for the events that we've had there. So the numbers that you see for March is the data that's been collected, and also without, again, poster stickers being removed from areas, mainly our base of tree boxes, electric boxes, and light posts. And also to announce that we're going to start trying to now paint the bottom of those light posters so they can be more presentable and attractive to complement our bid more. Again, it just seems to attract every poster, sticker, every protester, leave their marking on it. Our wellness checks, as I was saying, we're working on the process of conducting these services in-house. I wanted to just share this next slide for some other functions that we're starting to work on right now, that the weather, most people have been calling this weather bipolar, but I'll say anything above ground, we'll take it. So we're grateful. But as you can see, the two pictures in this slide where we're doing some heavy duty pressure washing with heat and some other safe chemicals to clean the areas of Metro Center from 7th and H to also G and F Street, to clean that corridor to get it cleaned. And here is some of the differences that we've had from the both two columns that you could see, removing gum, graffiti, also for working on some, the waste that happens in that area. And that's going to continue throughout, like every weekend through the middle of the night. We usually start like 3 o'clock in the morning. And so I hope that individuals who live in that area are not interrupted their sleep by that. If so, then we can scale back on the timing. But that was like for the heavy lift for years and years of grease debris is the times that we were able to get that done. The next slide, we're talking about some of the things that we've done here at the bid to try to bring Anthem's Road to life, and other areas to bringing people into the bid and have them have a great experience here, where we can also keep the funding bringing to businesses, as well as people having vibrant experiences in our corridors. The next, here we go. I'm sorry. The next slide is showing on H Street, where we've taken an empty building and turned it, that area, should I say empty space, to bring this space to life. Most of you would know that location where it was the old dragon mural that was there. So we've just recently had this art done that's on the wall, the one to the right for this mural. And we're going to give like some more literature about that in the upcoming slides, as well as one event that we had on April 19th, which was a DJ event, and we were pretty successful. Everybody enjoyed themselves, and we got to bring people to the bid at Anthem's Row, Penn Quarter area, Chinatown area, should I say, and blocking off K Street, I Street, and using or utilizing the businesses in our bid so that it could be profitable for them, enjoying the experiences and allowing to have some costs. Safety team, again, with the newest, like I said, update that we're trying to roll out. As soon as we get all the details finalized, we could introduce, but we no longer have the grant safety team on foot, but we're gonna put it back in-house and have our team personally go to conduct these services. Okay. Did anyone have any questions?
Are
Hello?
there any questions at all? I just have one. I was very impressed with a meeting I went to last week. It was an early morning meeting, and there was you're entwined with another group there, which is part of the DC bid, I guess, and that's the downtown uh, foundation.
Oh, yes.
And the fact that they have a downtown services center that has done quite a bit of work on behalf of homeless people.
Okay, so
And
I'm sorry, Mr. Stewart, that is two, it's all in-house with downtown bid, but there's
yes,
two things there. We have our,
exactly.
yeah,
They're a nonprofit and,
and
you
our
know,
downtown day service
yeah.
center. So the
Okay, great.
nonprofit, we work in, again, you've seen Rachel Hoffman, who is, the head of that bid, and
Mhm.
also the manager who works with her, Reed. And
Right.
they too here in our office at 1275 K Street, as
Yes.
well as working in conjunction with our bid Downtown Day Service Center,
Mhm.
where the nonprofit has a big part in that, but the bid also for the nonprofit day service center, which is 7 days a week,
Mhm.
we have bid staff working there, as well as some grant funding from the government for that grant that helps to run that center.
Okay. Well,
So,
thank you very much for the clarification
okay,
because I really love what both groups are doing, your
thank
group
you
and
so
their
much.
group. So
Thank you
thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Okay.
Anything
I
else
saw
from anyone?
I saw Andrew Cohen had his hand
Hi
up.
there. Yes, thank you so much, Elise. Very excited about the activations you've been doing. Wondering if you have any updates about including some of the street performers in activations as sort of an alternative of getting them, involved in official events and in designated spaces so they don't, sort of on their own show up at sidewalks.
Oh, now that we don't promote, Andrew, I can tell you.
Okay.
If and any, and I will definitely we're having our ambassadors have a more role. Like we said, we're taking it back and being in-house because, as you know, nobody cares about yours like you care about it. So we see that we have more interest in with our team when they see those type of things to report it. We will. I know that during the summer months that's been an ongoing issue at that corridor section at G in 7th Street, where
Hmm.
it's one person in particular, but then there's others that try to join and play music and do their thing. But we are putting other issues in place as well as these vacant spaces to make them vibrant that they don't take up like encampments and other things. So we have a whole couple of months ahead of us, and also knowing that the Capital One Arena is going to be doing construction, that we are to be very vigilant and busy around that area, even more so. I hope that answered your question, but
Thank
we'll
you.
keep you all updated on all the things that'll be going on.
Appreciate your help.
Thank you. And if you had any ideas, by all means, send us an email.
Well, Louise, thank you so very much.
Thank you all.
Your work is much appreciated.
Thank you.
I think we're ready for the community grant section with my.
I see Rachel Wright is online with us.
Yes, I see that as well. So if we're ready to go there, are you ready to go there? So Rachel, are you ready to make your presentation? Rachel Wright, can you hear me?
She texted me in the direct chat, and I take here we go. And I texted her back, but she has not answered me. So I don't know if she's on.
I still see her name here.
We can also
she's
return to her.
she's muted and has no camera on.
Okay, the mute just went off. Rachel, are you here? Miss Wright.
Oh, shoot.
Yay.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, Lord. It's actually
We do not see you.
very
I
crazy. I'm
see her.
sorry.
I see her, but the image is sort of jumpy.
Oh, Lord.
You're frozen.
I'm very- I was renting through the pilot. It's for like $7,000.
Okay,
Should
we can barely hear you. Sorry.
She looks like she's on a train.
No,
Oh,
I'm at the library. I'm at the library. Can you hear me?
Barely.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Oh,
but it's
shoot.
hard.
Let's see. Okay, I'm at the library, and I have a proposal for $7,000 to purchase mobile shower that can go like mainly over there by the library, Martin Luther King Library. I have it for $7,000, and I call it the Love Connection Project because once upon a time I was homeless, and luckily by me being in the military, I was able to get help from through the veterans, resources. So they helped me get situated and settled in my home. So on me when I was homeless, I noticed that a lot of those places are overcrowded. So I had to end up going all the way to Virginia to get help. A lot of time, matter of fact, every day I had to go to Virginia to go take a shower. So many people felt homeless. Um, this was in during COVID time, um, all the way up to like 2 or 3 years past that. Um, I would like to be able to, just return a favor because, like I said, I went through that type of situation. And I noticed, like being at the Martin Luther King Library, I see a lot of them out there. They have like a lot of items, but sometimes a lot of them feel like they, steal their stuff or whatever. So trying to move around to get a shower, at a center, it would be easier to have a mobile shower placed there. Maybe like twice a month where they can, take a shower, or freshen up or whatever. I'm planning on providing clothing, clean clothes, like a little makeover. I have people that want to be a part of it, as far as cutting their hair, making them over, perfume and things and stuff. That you could.
all right. Commissioner Swart, I'm not quite sure how to proceed here. First of all, I'd like to say how much we appreciate your lived experience and your intentions with the unhoused community that is right there at the library. I'm not sure if you were on the meeting a little bit earlier when the Sergeant Robinson from the MPD 2nd District said sort of in passing that there were intentions to clear that encampment of all participants sometime in the near future. I asked for follow-up with that and to make sure that Pathways to Housing and that the Downtown Day Services Center would be involved. So I will be emailing him tomorrow to get more details on that and to follow up on to make sure that all possible resources are being expended here. But as we discussed at a prior meeting, I'm not quite sure how to proceed with Robert's rules here, Commissioner Swart. because we don't have a motion on the floor. So maybe I'll just I move that we respectfully table this proposal and until such time as there's more clarity on what's happening with the community that is living there right now. And there are also other concerns about funding this, but I'll move to table if that seems appropriate. Is it?
I second.
Those in favor of tabling this?
I just like to say one more thing on the record that our previous discussion was that we were anxious to not duplicate services provided elsewhere. There are showers at the Downtown Day Services Center at least 5 or 6 days a week, and there are shuttle buses from the Martin Luther King Library to get over there. So that was
correct, Nancy. That's correct.
That was one concern, and the other, the original proposal was for considerably more money and longer term funding. But our entire allotment from the city is correct me if I'm wrong, Treasurer Lee, but it's like $10,000 total. We do have a significant reserve that we're intending to spend down slowly, but there's an equity issue between different grant possibilities from different parts of the community that we can't just fund something that as large as the original proposal.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Commissioner, that these essential services are provided nearby at other locations. In fact, showers provided last year numbered nearly 10,000 at the Downtown Day Services Center. And what I noted, as did others, when the restroom situation was down there at MLK Library, it put people at risk, women generally at risk. And I just don't want to cause anything like that again, but I will.
It's very unfortunate that the throne has not been worked out to be there, because the throne is secure and there's not any potential for to be trapped inside or any of the other issues for women's safety specifically.
But
so there is a solution for that with the throne installation takes that into account.
Yeah. But again, there's a lot that needs to be looked at. I don't think we have had enough write-up. Well, we've had no written information related to this or anything at all. So I'm in support your motion to table as.
Yeah, there was an original proposal that was an email form, but not an amended one, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so.
Right. So do you care to make that motion again, and we'll see? Because we've talked. We have talked
to table.
Yeah, we have talked to table it.
Yes.
So you made the motion to table it, and Thomas seconded that. All in favor? No, by raising hand. Thomas, did you raise your hand?
Yes, he did.
Yes, okay, great. So where are we now? We are now with the
consent agenda.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. We're with the local events that impact the community, or the consent agenda. So the first on this list is the reaffirmation of a 2025 letter of support. And is Andrew Huff from the Golden Triangle bid here?
No, because this is under the consent agenda, we can actually just vote for the entire slate unless one of the applicants really wants to speak to it. Andrew Huff is not here tonight since it's a consent agenda item. Just to refresh you all memory, they've applied for funding for a specific sculpture. There was an extensive juried process to pick among selections of many artists, and I was privileged to be on the tail end of that in the final selection panel. So we did a letter of support a year ago. This is just reaffirming it so that they can forward the reaffirmation letter to the funding people.
Okay, so they're finally getting around to do this.
Well, no, it's how the cycle works, apparently.
Yes, I know that.
They had, there's a pre-thing and another thing,
Right.
and all the things about how it will be fabricated and all of that. So
yeah, as we can tell now by New York Avenue from 10th to 12th. Okay, got it.
Yes, the location is right at Connecticut and K. What's there right now is a pink kind of looks like gigantic looped yarn sculpture. It's maybe 20 feet tall. These things are actually enormous. Obviously, I've seen the winning submission because I was on the panel. It's really very pretty, and it's Americana themed for the 250th. So I'll move that we send a second reaffirmation letter of support to the golden bid for the installation of the statue at Connecticut and K.
I second that. All in favor?
I'm abstaining because I was on the selection panel.
Oh, okay.
So it's two.
So two in favor, one abstain.
Yes, 201.
Yeah. So the Armed Forces, the Amazon Armed Forces Cycling Classic, Saturday, May 30th.
I believe Diane Thomas is on with us. If she'd like to.
Diane, are you here?
I am here. I don't need to say much. You guys supported this last year.
Yeah.
It's May 30th. It runs literally that couple blocks in front of the Capitol on 3rd Street. So it's pretty contained to that area. I don't want to take up your time talking about a repeat, but I can answer any questions if they come up.
I'll move that we send a letter of support for the Amazon Armed Forces Cycling Classic on May 30th.
I second that if there are no further questions.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, now, Diane, anything else?
No, I was just saying thank you, Commissioner.
You're entirely welcome.
Mhm.
Okay, now we get to the alcohol, beverage, and cannabis licensing section of our agenda. And we're starting out with Purple 7. Trade name is Abel Tekel here. Tekel.
Commissioners Dan Kaufman here on behalf of the licensee.
Oh, okay, great. Hello, Dan. How are you?
Excellent. How are you doing? So just for clarity on the application that's in, this is an existing licensee that has an existing sidewalk cafe that was approved by DDOT a few months ago, and the public space permit has been issued. When the alcoholic beverage license application was first submitted about a year plus ago, it had approval for a sidewalk cafe of 44. The public space permit that was issued a few months ago allows up to 58 seats. And so now we are trying to reconcile those two and get the sidewalk cafe endorsement to reflect the 58 seats that DDOT's approved.
This is in my SMD. I haven't noticed them actually serving outside yet, even the 44 seats. So I'm definitely excited to have that part of the neighborhood activated some more. So
The public space permit was very recent, and that we submitted the request to increase it when we got that. So it is very recent, but hopefully in the coming months it'll be out there.
And
excellent.
I take it that this is a sidewalk.
This is a very wide sidewalk.
Okay, great.
It's like the widest sidewalk ever. And there are, it's across the street of where Lincoln used to be, if you know that, and the Continent are both across the street, across Vermont, who also had very large sidewalk cafes on the wide sidewalk.
Well, I'll give you
that we send a letter of support to 777 LLC, trade name Gaia Supper Club, Abra 130359.
Thomas, are you seconding this?
I am. I second.
Okay, all in favor? Raise your hand and vote aye.
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 All right, aye wins 3-0. Anything else on this particular issue? All right, let's move on to Levy Premium Food Service. This is at the National Geographic. And is David Carter here?
Yes.
Yes, I am, Commissioner. Thank you. We're here to ask for your support for an application for a Class CX multipurpose facility license to be used at the Explorers Eatery, which is at the National Geographic Society, 1600 M Street Northwest, in the new Museum of Exploration. The Explorers Eatery is an international food hall. They're going to have a rotating series of 5 food stalls for various menus from around the world. They're going to coordinate with the museum to host programming, trivia nights, film screenings, coffee and cocktails with National Geographic explorers. It's going to be operated by Levy Premium Food Services, which is a company out of Chicago with over 50 years experience dealing in premium offerings of food services for a variety of venues, such as sports venues like Audi Field here in DC, Orioles Park in Baltimore, Northwest Stadium in Landover. They also operate in cultural attractions such as the Franklin Institute in Philadelphia, Lincoln Park Zoo in Chicago. They operate a few freestanding restaurants such as Paddlefish and Disney Springs in Orlando, Florida, and convention centers like Baltimore and Los Angeles. The eatery is going to be open exclusively to people that are visiting the Museum of Exploration. The hours are 9 to 8, and we've given you submissions, floor plans, renderings, and a description of the food and drinks that are going to be offered there. I've got Evan Eisenbeis, who's the Levy Director of Operations, here to answer any questions you might have, and Lisa Frecker, who's the Senior Director for Hospitality and Retail with National Geographic, I believe, is also with us. Emily Dunham, Chief Campus and Experience Officer for National Geographic. I'm not sure if she's here or not, but between those 2 or 3 people, we should have someone here that can answer any questions you might have.
I'm here. Thank you, David, and good to see you all again.
I as always, this is Nancy Groth. I'm the commissioner for this district and a lifetime Nat Geo nerd. I cannot begin to tell you how excited I am to have the reactivation of the entire block of the neighborhood as a commissioner. Just personally, my kids who are now in their late 30s, we used to live up 17th Street and walk down every Saturday morning to see the giant parrot. So this is family history for us. and we're just very, very happy to see the whole thing. It's so beautifully done. I looked through the slides that you sent me. Could you do just a quick run through, maybe, since we're in public meeting, so that the public can get a teaser of how beautiful this is going to be?
Sure. So I'm happy to give an overview of the museum at a high level. And then Evan, if you want to just talk about the food and beverage plan. So the Museum of Exploration opens at the end of June to the public. Our tickets are already on sale. We have a variety of experiences from a photography gallery, immersive, high-tech, traditional museum cases. We're going to have a lot of public programming, beautiful, beautiful new space, and it spans on M Street between 16th and 17th Street at our campus, where we have been on 16th Street, 16th and M since 1904, actually. So we're really excited to reopen to the public and have over 100,000 square feet of space for the museum. Oh, Evan, we actually can't hear you for some reason. Lisa, do you want to talk about the food and beverage program? And if your mic doesn't work too, I'm happy to do it.
Can you hear me now?
We can, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you all for your patience on that. And thank you, Emily, for walking us through the operations of the National Geographic Museum of Exploration. My name is Evan Eisweiss. I'm the Director of Operations at Baby Restaurants. We're very excited to be opening Explorers Eatery with National Geographic and the partnership that we have there. We'll be running simultaneous with the hours that the museum will be open. So 9 to 8, as David mentioned. The bar operation will open from 11 and go until 8 o'clock, with last call being around 7:30 to ensure we have guests out of the building at that time. Food will be spanning the entire operation and will be culturally represented of 5 different food stalls at a time as we rotate through those throughout the years to come. We'll also have a coffee bar that will be available during the day as well. So kind of a full spanning operation when it comes to those. When it comes to the public programming, as David mentioned, it'll be trivia, it'll be concerts. Within the eatery, we'll have Explorers coffee and cocktails, where we have explorers that come in and are able to talk to groups and offer insight on their expeditions that they've had, as well as bringing cocktails to their explorations and their expeditions throughout the world. So we're very excited to be a part of the opportunity, and thank you all for taking the time to hear from us this evening.
Commissioners, do you have any questions or comments? Thomas, go ahead.
Oh, just a quick question. Will you be serving alcohol in the eatery?
We will be serving alcohol. That is correct. That'll be from the Ballard Bar. And again, the hours of those will be 8 to 11. Or I'm sorry, flip that around, 11 to 8.
Okay. Sounds good.
I have one completely shameless question. Is there any kind of pre-opening event before the museum opens for, say, locally elected government officials?
There is.
There's only 4 of us.
Yep. And you are already on our list. We are planning to have sort of preview day for key folks in the DC government, as well as key neighbors of ours and other sort of community partners who we're working with. So look out in your emails in the weeks to come, and you should see that invitation. We look forward to showing off.
I definitely will. The museum opens the 28th.
26th of June.
26th. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Look forward to it.
I do have a question for you. If local people desire just to go in to have something to eat, can they do that without paying entry fee into the museum?
At this point, no. We expect the capacity of the museum is well sized for our expected attendance at the museum, but we want to see how that runs and then see if we have capacity and sort of crowd flow with our security process
Mhm.
to allow for a non-ticketed guest to come in. We are offering memberships, of course, and so if you're a member, you can come in as many times as you want. And so we would love for locals, those whose offices are in walking distance, to become members and then be able to come and go and eat and drink at the Explorers Eatery whenever they choose.
Okay. Anything else, commissioners?
I'd like to move that we send an enthusiastic letter of support for Levy Premium Food Service as the contractor to National Geographic ABRA number 135682.
Is that your second enthusiastic endorsement of the day? Anyway, I second the enthusiasm here. Is there a vote to take on this? I think so. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None opposed. So there we are with a unanimous decision.
Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, commissioners.
Welcome back to the neighborhood.
Our next one is the AC 608 LLC, trade name Fa 88 Noodles and Grill at 608 H Street. Is anyone here representing them?
This came through Michael. I didn't see it come in.
Okay.
But there's a contact information.
Yeah, I don't see that name here.
I sent fellow commissioners the placard, the APCA placard, which has some more information, but I don't know what else we need. This is your SMD, Thomas, correct?
I'm looking at that 608 H Street. I think that's Michael's.
That's
Mine, I think
it is Michael's.
Okay.
608 H Street.
Oh, right. That makes sense. I'm sorry.
But I guess we have no choice but to delay this another month.
Can we just vote on it, or what do you think? I mean, I've been to this place before. I don't think there are any issues with just voting and giving them the.
Could we take a vote contingent on making contact, having one of us make contact?
Yeah,
I think we should. If this is just a renewal, is this just a renewal?
No, it's a new retailer's Class C restaurant.
Well,
but there's a restaurant already operating there. It's 488, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know that block very well.
Obviously, it's a new retailer's Class C.
Oh, what? So 488 is already there. I'm looking at a street image of it.
Okay.
At 608 H Street. I'm looking at the actual, street view. So what are they doing with the Class C?
Right. Maybe it doesn't say change of, but maybe it's going down from a tavern to a restaurant. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay. Well, in that case, if we don't know, we can't really help them.
It's unfortunate because with the date change and the virtual only, we have
but perhaps
lost one in the sauce.
Yeah, perhaps Commissioner Schenkel is aware of them and has some sort of indication.
Well, again, can we take some kind of a vote conditioned on Commissioner Schenkel's input upon his return? I don't know if that's legal.
I'd be fine with that. I mean, I guess we can vote on it now, and then if we act improperly, then we can
then
change
we
your
can
vote.
just not send the letter
Yeah.
of support.
Or one of us could vote to abstain.
Mhm.
It would still pass, but you know,
Right.
there could be that fallback.
Okay.
So all those who's in favor? Who wants to make this motion?
So I'll move to make a conditional approval conditioned on Michael Schenkel's input upon his return.
I'll second.
And I'll abstain.
Okay, so
it's 2 to
call
1.
a vote.
Yeah.
Two in favor? Are you
2 in favor? Yep.
And so it's 201.
201.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It still passes.
Yes.
Now the Keystone International Venture, trade name Chandelier at 1201 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Hello, Commissioners. Dan Kaufman. I'm back on behalf of Keystone International Venture, LLC, trading as Chandelier. Chandelier is going to be a steakhouse. It is replacing what I believe was Del Frisco's Grill at 1201 Pennsylvania Avenue. I believe Del Frisco's been closed for a number of years, and so we're hopefully going to activate that as soon as September or so. That's the goal, at least as far as opening. This is a Class C tavern. Indoor seating of 250, which is approximately in line with what Del Frisco's Grill had. Also applying for a summer garden, which may end up being less than the 125 requested. It may be more like in the 80 to 90 range once the C of O is finalized. We're also requesting carry-on delivery endorsement, holiday extension of hours, and an entertainment endorsement. The client advises they do plan on having live music, including piano during dinner service. So that's the intention there. And I'll open it up for any questions that you may have.
Are all those endorsements on the placard?
Yes, they should all be on the placard.
Okay, I did not look at the placard that closely. Since Commissioner Lee, again, is this yours or is this Michael's?
This is my neighborhood, Pennsylvania Avenue. I guess we'll do the same thing. I move that we grant them a Class C retailers Class C restaurant license, condition that, what's the condition?
Well, do we need to put any condition because it's not Michael's district like the other one was?
Right. Yeah. In that case, there's no conditions here.
Are you aware, Commissioner Lee, of any like hotels that would be concerned about entertainment endorsements or?
I don't think so.
Where is the summer garden? Is it out on the street or in the interior of the block?
I'm looking at a street view here, and it looks like it's on the street. But maybe Mr. Kaufman can
My
reply.
recollection, if you know where Elephant and Castle is and how they have outdoor seating there, I think it's on the other side of the building, so they have a similar setup.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my understanding is that building is completely office at this point, and there's not a hotel or anything. So
there's not a hotel across the alley or across the street.
Nope.
Okay, I have no concerns then.
Are there other restaurants in the area?
Just the Elephant and Castle, across on the other side of the lobby. But I mean, they're pretty far away. Yeah. I don't have any concerns. So, can I make a motion that we grant them the license for Class C tavern license?
Yes, you can make the motion.
With all of the endorsements that are listed on the placard.
With all the endorsements listed on the placard, correct.
Yeah. Especially, it being in your ANC. I think we can use all the nice restaurants we can get.
Yes, indeed. Do I
So
have a second?
I second that. So all in favor?
All in favor?
That's 2.
3.
Nancy, you there?
Yes, yes,
Okay, good.
yes,
Good deal.
yes.
So 3-0.
Okay. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you. Good to see you
Thank you
again.
very much.
So now we are to the status update on the ANC 2B protest, joined by ANC 2C of the Onyx Rooftop Lounge.
I just thought I should report back on the process as a matter of public accountability since we joined the protest. It's not finished yet. We're expecting an ABCA board ruling in late July or early August. To say that there's been drama would be an extreme understatement, and pretty much all of that I can't speak to. But just to let you know that what's at stake for ANC2C is 3 sets of precedents. One is the precedent that rooftop open air amplified noise is inherently a very challenging situation for its neighborhood because it's so unpredictable how far and in what direction and at what amplitude that noise is going to travel. So that's one, is the rooftop issue, which we've had also in 2C. If you may remember, this is a nightclub on the north side of M Street. So it's across the street from my SMD between 18th and 19th. They call it Club Central in 2B. The entire block is just chock full of nightclubs, new dancing establishments. There's now a cannabis lounge and this rooftop. So number 1 precedent is about the rooftop amplified sound. Number 2 is about the imminent arrival of office conversions to residential. There's one across an incredibly narrow alley immediately abutting the row house that this nightclub is on the roof of. On the 4th floor, whoever is on that 4th floor front corner apartment is going to be 8 or 10 feet away from this noise. So again, that's on the 2B side of the street. On my side of the street, there's another office conversion on the 19th Street side of that block, also coming. So the precedent that just because there aren't residents right this minute does not mean that there are not hundreds and hundreds of them coming. Right. So the third thing that came out in the course of this long process is that obviously ANC2B filed a protest. We filed a letter that should have great weight supporting the protest. The general counsel of ABCA told the 2B people running it not to submit those letters in the evidence packet for the hearing, which is under oath and it's just like a court proceeding, because they were separate. So that's what they did. And then at the second continuation part of this hearing, the ABCA board president said that they could not be considered at all because they weren't in the evidence packet. Okay. So the general counsel of the Office of ANCs has jumped into this. And so straightening out that precedent for every commission, whoever protests a liquor license, to make sure that our letters get great weight and that there's a clear protocol of how to submit them and what will be counted. That's also an important precedent. So those are the parts of this that are the principles at stake here that I can speak about. There's not much of the rest of it that I can speak to.
What is basically our position, our vote, as you would have it?
ANC2B, the DuPont, because they have so many nightclubs, their practice is to protest every license, as I understand it, in order to effectuate a community agreement so that every establishment is playing by the same community agreement. This
Okay.
establishment wriggled through without one when they opened, and that's not great either. So definitely the outcome that we want is for the board to establish some kinds of restrictions that are consistent with what we asked for or what to be asked for, which are
This could,
consistent with what we have
yeah,
with Eaton, for example.
you're right. Well, I can see that helping us in the future as well to have a precedent like this established so that when we find ourselves
Yes.
in the same bind, we
Yes.
can, okay.
Yeah, we've already been in this bind
Yeah.
last year, as you
Mhm.
remember, and you know, all of the commissions really need to be
Right, right.
rowing the same boat here.
I agree.
So that's my status update.
Okay. So is there anything we need to vote on now?
Nope.
Okay.
Just
Thank you
need to
for the
wait
update.
for the motions and counter motions and wait for the ABCA board to make a ruling.
Okay.
Mhm.
Take a deep breath because we're going to have our comfort break. There's a hand up.
It's Thomas.
Oh, that's not
Hmm.
me. Oh, wait, overhand.
Okay.
I can see that we're down to 8 people.
Does
Okay.
anyone need a comfort break? It's 7:47.
Yeah, I personally do not need one. Does
I
anyone?
don't need
Okay.
one.
We only have 3 more things on the agenda.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's fine with me. Let me have a sip of water.
Mhm.
All in favor?
Second.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along. Resolutions. Is Sean Nelson here? Letter of support that we're being asked for ANC 5C. Rail access. And they're saying that given the redevelopment of RFK Stadium and the potential for other development, ANC 5C advocates for Metro Rail access that serves Benning Road, Heckinger Mall, Bladensburg Road, Ivy City, Arboretum, Fort Lincoln, Langdon, and all other communities in the eastern end of Ward 5.
Yeah, 5C did their own resolution. I think all they're asking for is a letter of support of their resolution. I don't think we're being asked to figure out the details of Ward 5. They just asked on the principle of the thing that as Metro Rail considers the fill-in lines and where new stations should be sited in the future, that those neighborhoods are underserved. It was a legal request from another commission, so I put it on the agenda.
Well, I would like to personally know a little bit more about it. I guess
Well, I forwarded you what they sent us. Well, you got it originally also, so.
Yeah. Thomas, have you had a chance to look at it?
Not really.
We could table it until you all.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that because it'd be nice if all
Michael
4 of us were involved in this.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Just as a secretary question, should I put it back on for June
Yes, please.
so it doesn't
Thank
get
you.
lost? Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, the next one is mine, is an actual resolution, which I sent you all originally, and I sent it to you in the packet today
Right.
to reaffirm last year's resolution to encourage the full use of the Aston Bridge Housing Facility in West End.
I'm in agreement.
I am as well. I'm wondering though, and I know these things run slowly, but Sort of, why is this coming up again?
Because as it stands right now,
Yes.
Councilmember Pinto and the mayor struck a deal that it be permanently capped at only 100 residents, even though there's the physical space for 190. Normally these things open in stages. So it opened at 50 and it's been hovering between 90 and 100 quite successfully. They've had exactly 3 entire incidents of complaints by the public. 2 were about residents that were resolved, and 1 was about the location of the trash cans. So this is not any of the things that the scaremongers said it would be. There's the second bridge housing facility is opened at 25 East Street, which will also eventually have a capacity of 190, but it just opened, so it's still in the process of ramping up. There are a number of funding proposals underway and a significant number of other council members who are throwing weight behind this to get enough operations funding for them to be able to staff up to handle more residents, as well as a little bit of capital money to literally buy more beds to equip themselves up.
That sounds fine to me. I think we need something like that. There are so many.
Bridge housing is what people will accept.
Right.
It's non-congregate. It's 2 people to a unit.
Yeah.
With a kitchenette and your own bathroom and a lockable door. And it is not low barrier housing. It is with case management attached.
Good. Yeah, I think we need that. So fully support this. I make a motion that we reaffirm the resolution for full use of the Aston Bridge housing.
I ask that can I be designated the commission's representative in this matter?
Yeah, you certainly can, because you certainly are.
Great.
I second that motion. Your motion.
All in favor? So I think there are 3 of us.
I see Trupti Patel, who's the chairman of the chairperson of 2A, Foggy Bottom Commission, just signed on. Trupti, if you can hear us, we just voted yes.
I missed it. I'm so sorry.
You came in at the great part. We just voted yes.
I'm trying to get my camera to turn on.
Yeah, we would like to see the smile on your face.
I just want to thank all the colleagues on ANC. I'm trying. My computer is wigging out. I did want to share that I did testify before Chairman Mendelson's hearing today. Councilmember Zach Parker chaired when I testified, and he was actually stunned to hear that the Aston was capped at 100. He said, "So why aren't we utilizing the 190 beds?" And I said, there is an agreement between the mayor and Councilwoman Pinto to keep it capped at 100. And I said, I don't know why we paid $27.5 million for a building with DC taxpayers' money to only not fully utilize it. And he said, yeah, that's news to me. I will speak to Councilmember Matt Truman about this, and that's what I wanted to share. So thank you guys so much.
Right.
And I'm sorry for some reason my camera is wigged out.
I was saying that the individuals who are camping, at the Martin Luther King Library could certainly use these beds.
Yeah. All we have to do is get them to accept them.
True.
Which is why I asked the police lieutenant about what is the involvement of Pathways to Housing, who's the outreach, assigned outreach people for our neighborhood.
And I think the downtown bid and the downtown services center play a big role in that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pathways is completely embedded in the downtown day services center. So.
Yeah. And it sounds like this sounds like a place that one can feel trustworthy and that they're not going to
Yes.
an institution place. So,
well, thank you. We have a yes vote. 3-0-0.
So, transportation and public space.
There's
We have
nothing
no
there.
issues.
We're finally
And
on to
we're finally on to planning, zoning,
case.
environment, and historic preservation.
Mm-hmm.
The 2001 Pennsylvania Avenue. This is one of those historic places that has the modification of the PUD, and it's at the George Washington University. Is Lee Templin or anyone from?
Yes, she just came on camera.
Yes, I'm here also.
Kevin,
Okay,
Dave.
great.
Well, good evening, commissioners, and thank you for the opportunity to give you an update. We were here last June to provide you an update on this PUD modification. My name is Kevin Michael Dates, and I am the Executive Director for Government and Community Relations at the George Washington University. And I'm joined by Lee Templeton from Gulston and Storrs, who's our land use counsel for the university. We want to provide you with an update on the university's plan to modify the PUD at 2001 Pennsylvania Avenue. So again, just a reminder, we were here in June, so it's to remind you where it's located. This blue dot represents 2001 Pennsylvania Avenue, and the PUD modification.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't think you're sharing your screen quite yet. Are you?
Oh, you know what? I am not. Sorry. Thanks for the catch.
No problem.
Let me.
Sharing is caring.
I was so I've got it set. I have it on presenter mode. I'm all ready to go.
All right.
All right. Can you see it now?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So as a reminder, I wanted just to let you know where the building is. It's this 2001 Pennsylvania Avenue. This property is located on the boundary between 2A and 2C, and that's why we're back here tonight. We presented last June, where we gave it just prior to filing the notice of modification, and so we want to provide an update very quickly. You know, we're the last thing on the agenda, the last thing keeping you from getting back to your evening. So we'll try to move through this pretty quickly. I just want to give you a quick background on the building. 2001 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest is currently a mixed. Is currently improved with an 11-story mixed-use building consisting of office space on the upper floors and retail space on the ground floor. The university acquired this property in late 2024 as part of its efforts to strategically meet administrative and academic space needs. At the present, the majority of the building remains leased to non-university tenants. In the near term, the university intends to utilize the vacant office spaces within the building as swing space for administrative and academic offices. We want to activate the retail space with some university-related uses and helping to maintain an active and welcoming streetscape. Long-term, the university is currently evaluating long-term options for the building. You know, at this stage, we anticipate the primary long-term uses will include administrative and office space to support university operations, some academic uses that will enhance the university's ability to meet its institutional priorities. We're committed to ensuring that the building's future use complements the surrounding neighborhood and maintains the life of the area. I'm going to ask my colleague, Lee Templeton, to walk through the specifics of the zoning application, and then we'll be happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Kevin. So for some background, and you can go to the next slide. There you go. Thanks. For some background, the property is subject to a PUD that was approved back in 1988, which authorized construction of the mixed-use office and retail building that's there today. To enable the uses Kevin just described, the university filed a modification of the PUD in case number 87-23A that would, one, permit university use both on a portion of the ground floor and the upper floors of the building, and two, authorize new building identification signage. Next slide, please. Since we last presented to you prior to filing, we wanted to highlight two updates that have been made with respect to the ground floor. First, in consultation with ANC 2A, the university has committed to retaining the western bay of the ground floor that's currently occupied by 4-5 Coffee as retail. Second, also in coordination with ANC 2A, the university plans to reopen the retail located within District House, which is just a couple blocks away at 2121 H Street, for public access during weekday daytime hours. While the western retail bay shown here in purple is currently occupied with the coffee shop, the eastern bay has been vacant for several years. It was previously occupied by the Bank of America, but due to obstacles with that space, the university anticipates major challenges in leasing it to retail tenants. So rather than leaving that space vacant, the university plans to fill it with active student-facing uses to draw university activity northwards across Pennsylvania Avenue into the downtown business district. The District House, on the other hand, already has existing restaurant uses, and it's located where there's more activity currently. It's also really a one-to-one replacement, if not more. District House has at least 5,000 square feet, whereas this space is around 4,000 square feet. Next slide, please. Just to orient you, shown here is District House, which is highlighted in blue in relation to the property. As you can see, it's just about a block and a half to the west and south of 2001 Penn. As you may remember, District House used to provide retail space that was publicly accessible, but in 2022, the university modified the District House PUD to limit the retail space to students to help support the university's efforts to strengthen its dining program in spaces focused on student gathering. While it's still important that District House operate as a student-focused third space, the university will reopen District House for public access, as I said, during weekday daytime hours, and then reserve it for students only on nights and weekends. The university understands the community's desire for retail, so believes this one-to-one replacement will better serve the neighborhood since this retail space in District House is not only larger, but it contains existing restaurants. Next slide, please. The second modification is to add building identification signage. The signage will be located on the ground floor on the I Street frontage, and then on the upper stories on the I Street and 20th Street sides. The signage will illuminate at night similar to other signs in the area, and as shown, the proposed signage is modest in scale and consistent with surrounding signage. Next slide, please. The university is also seeking flexibility from the short-term bike space and location requirements. Due to a number of items in the public space just in front of the building, there's a bus shelter, a public art installation, and then there's also an existing Capital bike share station on 20th Street. There's just not enough space for the required short-term bike spaces. So the university engaged with DDOT early on in the application process to work on a solution to the bike parking. And we're proposing 40 long-term spaces, which is an additional 20 over the requirement, and then 36 short-term spaces. And then also with the request is a request for flexibility to locate the short-term bike spaces outside of the required 120-foot radius around the entrance. But as you can see on this diagram, the spaces will still be located on either side of the building, just not within strictly that 120-foot radius. Next slide, please. So to summarize, the university is requesting the modification to one, authorize university use as a permitted use on a portion of the ground floor and the upper floors, and then two, to authorize new building identification signage. The commission is set to hear the case on June 8th. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Kevin.
Thanks, Lee. Well, we're happy to take any questions if there are any.
I do. I have most of this looks completely reasonable and lovely. I have no problem with the signage, with the bike capacity, all of that, or with the western bay. What concerns me is the eastern bay on the corner, the old bank space. When you came last June, we had this conversation, and I just off the top of my head came up with a number of ideas that I'm wondering whether they have been considered. I would like to see it, if not necessarily traditional retail, some kind of hybrid university out public facing thing. My ideas were like a student art space, a student art gallery to display student work, or to use those square footage as a potential pop-up space for student entrepreneurs who might want to launch a business concept, and if they could use the space without having to negotiate a lease, to be able to pioneer a concept for a month or two. There are makers within the student community to be able to sell their work. There must be ways to highlight the great programs of George Washington University and the amazing work that students do in a public-facing space that would generate retail-like foot traffic. Also, I'm wondering whether anyone has bothered to ask the students themselves. Surely somebody in the student government has some kind of a committee that could gather student opinion as to what are creative uses of the square footage now that the university owns it.
Yeah, and I'll let Kevin weigh in. I think that's really helpful feedback. The university is still exploring how to use that space. Right now, I think the plan is for it to be student facing in order for it to really activate the street being on the ground floor.
What does that mean, student facing?
I think certain concepts that have been explored are like a career center for one, which would also allow more engagement with businesses in the area. I know that that's one idea that has been floated, but Kevin, I'll let you weigh in on anything.
Yeah, there's those ideas that Commissioner Garth that you talked about have been considered by the university, and certainly some of them are still being considered. The university hasn't fully decided on exactly how it wants to use that space. What I do know is one of the reasons the pop-up space is not is very difficult is requires that space is a shell of a space right now, so it requires a significant amount of funds to get that up to speed, to put in a bathroom, and that is an incredibly expensive undertaking for a temporary solution. We also don't believe ultimately in the long run.
Pardon me, there was no bathroom when it was a bank?
No, there was no, all that space has been completely empty. It's a shell of a space.
Okay, so it's been demolished.
Yes, and so to get it up to code, we'd have to spend a significant amount of money to get it back to a place. And the university just doesn't think that's a good use of money for a temporary or short term. Now, some of the other ideas like art commitment, the university is considering using those, perhaps using that space to demonstrate some of the kinds of work that the university students are working under. So all of those things are in consideration. No firm decision has been made. But I can tell you that the pop-up idea just is not financially workable, especially considering the current financial condition of that we're all in.
Okay, a couple of weeks ago, I went to the opening of the We Make DC storefront that's temporarily in what used to be the Ann Taylor space on Connecticut Avenue. As it's an extremely inspiring temporary use of what was a vacant space. Yeah. So I just think there's a failure of imagination going on here. I'm sorry to say.
I was just going to add to what Kevin said, and the space it's really awkwardly laid out. It's kind of a long and narrow, kind of good for a bank use, but otherwise kind of difficult to deal with. There's also
pillars. Look like a lot of support.
Exactly.
Pillars.
Yeah. And then there's also the grade change on 20th Street. So there's no way to really break up the space because 20th Street, there's no entrance on that side. So it is just kind of a funny floor plate to deal with. And it's pretty large, like a little over 4,000 square feet. So those are kind of the challenges that we're dealing with in terms of exploring for, creative uses, as you mentioned.
If we support a PUD modification, then we lose any. Then what will happen? There's no further community input here.
Well, I think the university is very engaged with the community, and I think that we'll continue to as it becomes more clear how that space will be used. We'll continue to communicate that.
You said you had support from Commission 2A.
So
Was
we
that
go
the
to,
genesis of the 1-for-1 swap?
yes, I'll
idea?
let Kevin speak to this a little bit more. We've been talking to representatives from ANC2A. We go to their meeting next week. Just in terms of timing, it comes after you all. But Kevin, please feel free to weigh in on the conversation.
We've worked closely with this Commissioner Jim Malik. Actually, the idea for the swap was Jim Malik's one of Jim Malik's ideas, and the university felt like this was an adequate swap. So we are reopening closed retail space and making that available to the public to swap out for the space that is missing, that we would be taking away from at 2001. We think it's a better use of that space. It's closer to the community, and community members will utilize the food offerings in the district house.
Well, so this technically, I wouldn't call it a trade-off, but it is a PUD requirement that you exchange one thing for the other and some sort of community-based improvement.
Yes, I wouldn't say it's a requirement since this is a modification, but the university understanding the community's desire for retail and the situation of retail downtown considered this to kind of be a 1-for-1 replacement.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm quite happy to be flexible on whether it's strictly retail in a 20th century sense or not, because there's so many hybrid spaces now with uses that just were not ever foreseen when these PUDs were written. But nonetheless, there's a community benefit expected in exchange for having built the thing, and that has conveyed through different owners now to GW University.
Correct, yeah, and that's why we think the district house is kind of a better proffer since the bank space is so difficult to deal with, and that's probably why it's been vacant for a few years now. Whereas the district house is stable, multiple existing restaurants. It's something that the community can rely on in terms of retail to have access to.
And it's more clearly within 2A's purview. So I certainly don't mean to upstage their bargain in the deal here. So I just think there's something that would highlight the programs and work of George Washington University that could be done somehow with that space. That would not be just a financial aid office or career services office or something to bring students in, something that would bring the public in.
Yes. Yeah. And I think, as I said, those ideas are under consideration. And we think it's a space can be a dual use space.
And what in particular are you requesting from us?
Yeah, so we would like a formal vote of support. The hearing is on June 8th. I believe this is your last meeting before then.
Correct.
Yes.
Can ours be in some way contingent with the other ANC?
I think certainly you can phrase it however you like, and we're happy to provide a form letter if that would be helpful.
Okay.
It's all, as unpaid volunteers in these roles, that's always helpful.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
We certainly can do that.
So let's get Thomas.
I'm here.
Thomas's thought on this.
Yeah, I think I've heard. I understand where they're coming from, and I'm happy to support them in their efforts here.
I'm as well, and it sounds like you are as well.
Thomas, what do you think about linking it to whatever 2A says?
Well, that's a good point, Nancy. Why is this in front of 2C when it's clearly
because
not?
We're across the street, so therefore we have standing.
Well,
It's on
they've come.
it's
Right.
on
No, I
the
hear you.
far edge of my SMD,
Right. No, I hear what you're saying.
the wild,
Nancy.
wild west.
I mean, if we do have standing and they've come to us to ask for our opinion, then
They
personally,
would, they
I'm
wouldn't be
happy to.
here unless they had to be.
Right.
Just,
Just glad they want to be in front of us. I mean, I think, yeah, I've. It looks like they've explored, plenty of alternatives, and they're not doing this because I think they've truly explored all the alternatives, and they do have space. I appreciate your ideas, and I do like your ideas, Nancy. But I think if it was feasible, they would have done. They would have done it. They would have taken your idea and done it in this space already. I mean, it seems like
I also don't want to give an unqualified yes if 2A says something different or sets some other condition.
Well, do we know what 2A is saying?
Well, that's
We
another
do.
reason I think we can make ours contingent upon 2A.
Yeah, because they haven't voted yet,
Right.
as I understand it. Is that correct, Mr.
That is correct. We're going to them next week to ask for their formal approval.
Yeah, theirs is next Wednesday, if I understand.
Yeah, we have a verbal agreement with Jim to move forward on reopening the district house, and he has verbally indicated that he supports this as a compromise.
Right.
We could vote to support whatever 2A says in their formal vote next week.
That does sound good to me.
Okay, I'll move that we hold our letter of support in abeyance until we see what ANC 2A Foggy Bottom Commission what their formal vote is, and make sure we are in concert with that vote.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what if 2A, fails to make a decision, Nancy? Or what if they come up with something that's that's ridiculous or out of left field, and there's no way that we would be able to support it. I mean, it seems like
then we'd have to
passing
reconcile
seems like we're
something.
passing the buck here.
Well,
Okay.
I'm sorry, Trupti Patel dropped back off as the chair. I mean, we could reconcile between the two.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that's unlikely. Jim Malik has clearly been working with them.
Right, I agree.
And if this was indeed his idea for the Swaparoonie, then I certainly don't want to undermine Commissioner Malik.
What is your motion?
My motion is that we will prepare a letter of support once after Commission 2A meets, so that we are in concert with what their determination is.
I'm fine with that. I'll second that.
And just to clarify for purposes of the letter, this will be a vote to support the application, but then with just contingent on ANC 2A's
Yes.
outcome. Okay.
Whatever ANC 2, well, not a complete blank check, but from what we understand right now of Commissioner Malik's proposed swap, if that's in fact what they issue in their letter of support, then we would support that.
Thomas, are you all right with this?
Thomas,
Yes. Are you here?
I think you muted. Can't hear you.
I'm muted.
Can't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
now
can
we
hear
hear
you now. Yes.
Oh, I was saying that, if the other ANC votes to not support this, then our initial support is moot, correct? Under your resolution?
That would be consistent with my motion, yes.
Yes, it would.
I don't want us to be used as frankly as I don't want to be a yes vote in advance of what they say.
All right. But the reason we are being asked is that we border this.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Now I understand. Okay. All right. You want to just call the vote, Nancy, and then we'll just vote. Oh, wait, have you two voted already, Nancy and Michael?
No.
Or Jim?
We haven't called a vote. Call the question.
Oh, yeah, call the question. Go ahead. All in favor?
Are we in favor of
a contingent letter of support that will be written after ANC 2A?
Right.
There.
Okay, sure. That's fine.
All in favor?
All in favor. Yes, in favor.
Yes.
Yes. 3 A's.
Commissioners, thank you.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry you had to wait it out till the end.
No worries. It was efficient.
But that does seem to be the nature of many of these PUD issues. And it gets a little tricky when we're just the border of this thing, not the entire. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
All right, Commissioners, have a good evening now.
Have a good night.
Well, thank you. That brings us to the end of our ANC meeting.
Mm-hmm.
It was very nice to work with.
There's Drupty. Drupty, did you hear all of that?
I did. And the draft agenda got sent out tonight. So you could see the resolution that ANC 2A is going to vote on next week.
Okay, we'll wait until you get a vote. Was the intent of my motion was to wait until you all have a resolution, and then we'll support that.
All right. No, I mean, no worries. I defer to 2C. I'm a visitor here today.
Okay. 2C guys, shall we designate me as representative for this also?
Sure, because that's within your bailiwick area.
Yep. The wild west of my SMD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
All right. Are we adjourned?
Okay with this?
Thank you. Yeah. Have a good night.
Okay. Well,
let's hope we have a recording.
Have a good night, everyone, and thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank everyone for putting this together.
Bye.
And I declare our meeting adjourned.
All right. Good night.